Hi guys, you might have guessed, we're in the race shed where Peter Black and Johnny Browne keep their Super Saloons. Great to be here guys.
Welcome.
Round 2 of the BK series, that's the Pro Dirt Super Saloon Car Series coming to hawke Speedway this Saturday night. Johnny, you didn't do round 1, Pete, you were pretty confident and had a good result really for that first round at Waikaraka Park.
Yeah, it was a good track surface, got bashed around a little bit, had a bit of an accident in the last race, but I finished all 3 races, so I was happy with the result.
Go at Meani, the car looked awesome. It looked the flattest it's ever sat on the track. You had a big smile on your face at the end of it, so you've got the car humming.
Yeah, we've got a bit more work to do to it, and I've got to learn to drive again because we cut the back end off, put torsion bars in, so it's a lot easier to drive and hopefully I'll be a bit more competitive.
Johnny, you've still got some work to do on the car here tonight. We'll probably flat out for the next couple of days, get ready for that second round. You were up there at Waikaraka Park watching?
Yeah, I went to support the Hawke's Bay boys like I always do if I'm not racing. Two Flints had a bit of a bad run that night, but yeah, Pete was outstanding. It's the best I've ever seen him drive.
You know, there's 22 cars coming here on Saturday night, 3 very hard groups. There's not actually an easy group. I've had a look through them. Top drivers in every one of those groups. Whoever wins this BK series this year is really going to have to work hard for it.
Yeah, for the BK series now, it's not a one-off meeting that's going to make it, it's going to let you win it. You've got to be consistent the whole way through. Last year I had 3 good meetings at the end of the season, and I still only came in at the bottom end of the field. So it's all about consistency now. Consistency
and making some passes. Pete, you made some changes to your car as well. You just talked about taking the back end off and replacing it, putting the torsions on it. Your first meeting was great at Meani. You've now got the BK round 1 out of the way. Back to your home track. You must be feeling good about it.
In the weekend, hopefully there'll be a nice track surface, outside line passing, and we'll just go and see what happens. And hopefully the weather plays ball.
I think the new surface at Meani is obviously different from how it's been in the past. Those big heavy ruts don't seem to be there, and it does slide.
Yeah, there was drive on the outside in the second race we had out there because Grant took a bit to get past me on the inside and that, but then I made a mistake. So as I said, I've still got a lot to learn to drive and learn about the car since it's new, and just keep going forward. Interesting
format for the BK series this year with the B final before you progress that second half of the field into the A main.
Yeah. Grant talked about it last year. Last year we had 24 cars interested in it, so the idea came up last year. This year we have got 24 cars that are going to hit the track. The B main, if you have 2 really bad reportage normal races, the B main is going to put you in the place where you need to be for the. So if you can excel in your B main, you'll be up somewhere in the middle to the front.
So that's a good thing about it. It gives you chances to have a bad result and still make your way further forward for that A main grid. 2 groups in each heat race, so there is 3 groups, but 2 go out each time. Everyone gets 2 heats. That determines your pole shuffle top 8. That will then go and do those 2-lap shootouts to determine the top 8 on the grid. Then the B main to the back. So still a good result in that B main. You're only going to be back there on row 5.
Yeah. Well, last year if you had a bad run in one of your races, you were starting the A main at the back of the field. And then you had to try and make your way to the front. And when you're racing with top guys, there's not a slow guy and there's not an extremely fast guy. They're all, this year they seem to be as one big pack. So you're going as fast as everybody else. So it's your driving style and your aggression that's going to get you through to the front.
Possibly the weather that we've had here in the past week too, Pete, might help the racetrack out as well, keep some moisture into it.
It should do. If we don't get too much more, we'll be right. It's not hot, and there's supposed to be more rain on Saturday morning, so hopefully the track will be awesome to drive, and we'll get some wheel stands and people won't be used to it.
Two massive crowds for our opening 2 meetings here at hawke Speedway. We're looking for another big crowd on Saturday night.
Yeah, we should pull the crowd. It all depends on the weather. If the weather's crap in the morning, people tend to stay away, but if it's nice and sunny, they'll come.
I think when they know the big bangers are coming into town, the crowd will come with them.
Yeah, they will.
And you guys are going to have display at Burger King like we normally do for each round?
Yes, Lightning we at one of the BKs in Hawke's Bay. He's a crowd favourite. doesn't matter where I seem to finish. We've got a kids themed car that just pulls them across anyway. So we do our best for Burger King. They are our main sponsors, so we have to look after them. And the car just plays his part. He's happy.
Lightning's a massive crowd favourite. I just know the kids absolutely love it. They love coming into the pits and having a look at the car. You can see the parents taking photos of the kids with Lightning McQueen. You know, that car is a hero to them. So we've got 6 Hawke's Bay drivers contesting this second round.
Yep.
We've got Mick Quinn, the Flynns, who will be looking for a bit of redemption after round 1. We've got yourselves and our 6th driver Graham Strong as well. So it's good to have a quarter of our...
And the way I see it, we've got probably 4 of the best. Mickey Chip, our champion winner. You got the 2 Flynns and you got Graham. They've all had an NZ of some sort on their car. So to race with them, you can't learn as experience of those guys.
And Mick Quinn running that new chassis. Interesting bonnet set up on that car, isn't it? With the big scoop on there with the air filters and everything just underneath. It's different look.
The whole car seems to work for him this year. From what I understand, it's still the same car, it's the same design chassis as last year. It's a new chassis though, but it seems to be working for him this year. But yeah, that bonnet scoop, I don't think I'd like to be on the outside and on the front.
Just a rundown of the Hawke's Bay drivers in that round number 1. We know the Flynns had a not so good weekend for them, but how did everyone fare?
Yeah, well, Pete was the outstander out of the Hawke's Bay guys actually.
The 14th and the A-mate, the 14th.
Yeah. Stephen was going well. He just had misfortune with getting left front flat tyres. Grant lost his lift arm in the second race, so it put him off the back of the field. But yeah, apart from that, they're still going forward. Eh? The Hawke's Bay guys have picked their game up. Yeah.
And Graham wasn't at round 1 either, was he?
No, he had engine problems at the end of last year. He bent a couple of valves, and because he's got fancy heads on it, we had to try and hunt down some valves for it. But the motor's all together. We fired it up on Tuesday. He's happy as a sandboy, so yeah, he can't wait to go out there and start racing.
We can't wait to see them. Some changes that you made to this car, Johnny. Tell us a little bit. Give us some tech info on this engine and the chassis setup.
The chassis is basically, was a more chassis when I originally bought it. It was a saloon. I bought it really cheap, and the intentions of putting it together and selling it as a saloon car. Graham Strong was sponsoring the body for it, and he basically said, I'm only sponsoring the Super Saloon. And saying that, he also supplied an engine, a gearbox, and also the diff for it. So the first season it was basically a Graham Strong home car, only car Metal Recyclers owned car. The second season after that I bought a Flash Harry 350 for it, still ran Graham's gearbox, and I modified the diff and put an aluminium X on it. 2 years ago we built a 377. It's an oddball engine. Most people either run 400s or 383s like Pete's got, unless you're Stephen Flynn that runs a little baby 350. But this is an oddball engine. It's actually, in technological terms, it's an outer square engine. So the stroke is smaller than what the ball size is. But that's what creates torque and a bit more horsepower.
Yep.
This season I've chopped the right hand quarter off the back of the car and rebuilt it. Refreshing the engine, we put a new cam into it, and we put new injection onto it. The new injection we put on caused the backfiring that I had the second meeting at Miani, so we've ripped that off again and put the original injection back on, fired it back up, and we've had no problems. So yeah, it's pretty much the same engine with a few little changes, but halfway through last season, and he showed me everything what to do on my suspension setup. And once we figured out my driving style and how to set the car up, we were away and we were starting to make ground.
You never stop learning, do you, Pete?
No, especially at my age.
Well, you've probably forgotten half of what you knew anyway, so you
It's
learn it
all
all over
changed.
again.
20 odd years ago, it's all totally different to this day. Everything's so crucial with your setup and everything.
Any engine changes to your car?
No, we just freshened it up, throw some rings and bearings at it, and slapped it together basically, and it goes.
We certainly saw at Miani that it had some huge straight line pace.
It's got it's a 383. It's got good torque out of the corners, and it's just me to learn to drive, and it'll be sweet.
Any sponsors you want to thank?
David Jones Motors, Only Car and Metro Cyclists, it's a salon, and me.
What about your wife? We'll
Yes,
edit,
we better thank her too.
we'll edit that out later.
No, she's good. My wife, if I didn't have my wife, I wouldn't be racing. She provides the food and she cleans the car spotless. She's always cleaning it. Yeah, and she drives home too as well.
Apart from Only Car and Metal Recyclers, who are a huge sponsor of yours, who else?
I've got Pro Blast. He does all my sandblasting, all my chassis, paint for my panels. I've got Napier Signs. They've come on board in the last couple of years, and they pretty much do the sign writing, the lightning sign writing. I've also got Quality Automotive. Without them, yeah, we'd still be probably running the 350. So yeah, they've Graham puts a lot of time and a lot of effort into anybody that's interested in speedway. It's not just super saloons, stock cars, street stocks, mini stocks. Yeah, he's a bit of a quiet person, but yeah, he puts a lot into speedway.
Your goals for not just this meeting, but the whole series?
Just to try and beat what I did last year, get in the top 15, I hope, and hopefully qualify for the New Zealand on the home track. That'd be awesome if I can do that. That's
John?
my main goal.
I want to qualify for the New Zealands, obviously, but I also want to start getting into pole shuffles. It was my game last year, and a few times we missed out by 1 or 2 points. So I want to get into that pole shuffle. That's my main game.
Hugely exciting, those pole shuffles.
Oh yeah, it's. I think I'd probably choke the first time I do one, but yeah, it's a one-on-one. It's just one person against another guy.
Well, you got 1 lap to choke and 1 lap to get on the gas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, it's the BK series is when it first started off. I think there was 14 cars, and they did 5 rounds. I think it was. The second year there was 20 cars that wanted to do it, and I think we ended up with 16. And it's just grown and grown and grown. Now we had I think Grant was saying we had 28 cars that were interested in doing the series.
And because we've got Caddyshack as well, Steve Williams now, wherever he goes, he brings outside interest to the sport because of his persona and what he's done in the world of golf. Good to see that he's in the series as well.
Yeah, Steve is a bit of a quiet person as well. He just likes doing his own thing, but yeah, he has a lot of followers, and he's been excellent for the sport.
Now you mentioned the New Zealand Champs coming up. That's in March, so it's still 4 months away. But fair to say, a lot of the drivers coming here on Saturday are going to be putting some testing time down and writing some things in their notebooks.
Yep, there'll be most of the guys in the series have raced here many times. So it's just the new track surface that's going to stumble them a little bit, but it won't take them long. Super Saloons, the drivers there, I believe we're that close to being professional. It's not funny. So it's everybody is on their A game from the start.
Well, this series is just a click away from being a professional series, basically. It's probably, I would think, in my opinion, the best series of all of the classes in this country. You've got something like the Oval Superstars for mini sprints as well, which has grown in popularity and prestige. I don't think you can beat the BK series.
No, and it's all pretty much down to Grant Flynn. This has been his baby since he took over 3 years into it. He's had a lot of help from Fiona Mowat, Ben Harding, and a few other people, but yeah, he is the man in charge, and he's done an awesome job.
The cool thing about it is you bring your own track staff with you. You bring referees, scrutineers, you bring Grant Moffat. I'm looking forward to working with Grant in the commentary box because he's got all the info, knows exactly what's happening, goes to all of the meetings, and I think that is a very important part of the series.
It is very important to carry our own staff. Plus, with having our own referee, we've got our earpieces in our ears, and he tells us off right on the spot. And it's so quicker for the crowd. We can get back into position and go racing, go lap after lap after lap. And then people in the infield waving arms around that, and you don't know what they're waving for. Tell us one thing over the radio, you're in the spot and you're going racing.
Exactly, and that just quickens the show up so much. Big format coming up. Got those 3 groups, you get 2 heats, you get your top 8 straight through to the pole shuffle that we talked about. The rest of the field go to a B main, They try and qualify for their grids to go into a 20-lap final.
Yep, the 20-lap final, it's, even though you're in the top 8, you might not be there at the end of it. But the last season, the final in Auckland, I started off 17th. I made my way up to 12th. The guy that was 4th, I ended up trying to pass him. So it's anybody's game, and if your car's set up and you're on form, you're away. The way I see it, I'm not a leader, I'm a chaser, so I'd rather start further back down the pack and make my way forward. It sounds a bit silly that, then start off the front and get everybody else chasing you.
Yeah,
But,
that's when the pressure's on.
that's when the pressure's on, and you've got people like Mark Osborne, you've got Mark Pitcher, Grant, Stephen, Graham.
The list is endless.
Yeah,
It's
it's
Ben
huge.
Harding, it
Ben.
just goes on and on and on. There's so many top-ranked drivers in this field.
So yeah, if you make it up there, you know you're actually at the top of your game and you're pushing with the top drivers.
The new track banking at Meoni is really going to get a workout on Saturday.
Yes, yeah, I've done 2 slow laps on Meoni because of the engine problems, so it's going to be fresh to me as well.
Guys, it's been awesome talking to you and invading your race year, but before we sign off, we've got one little tiny presentation I want to do for you guys. No one saw me stash these. This is what we want to see all on Saturday night. What's the saying?
Give it to Daniel.
Give it the January.
Yeah, but the
Hey, we wish you all the best. Let's keep it clean, keep the cars running at the end of the night, and hopefully you guys have a good result.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Now I'm hoping for it too.
Big thanks to JCar New Zealand as well.